In this podcast episode, Rory Stewart, a former British politician and international development expert, shares his insights on the current atmosphere in Afghanistan following the Taliban's takeover, the failures of Western leadership in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the social unrest in the UK. He also discusses pressing issues such as immigration, free speech, global poverty, and the impact of effective altruism, while reflecting on his current projects and commitment to international reporting. Stewart reflects on the surreal atmosphere in Afghanistan following the Taliban's takeover. Drawing from his experiences during the Taliban's previous rule in the late 1990s, he recalls a time when Kabul resembled a ghost town, marked by public executions and pervasive fear. After the U.S. invasion, Stewart witnessed a gradual emergence from Taliban control, with significant investments aimed at building a democratic society over 2 decades. However, the U.S. withdrawal led to the Taliban's resurgence, resulting in a stark transformation of the streets. Traditional dress has returned, and women are largely absent from public life. Despite the oppressive regime, Stewart notes an improvement in security, allowing for safer travel across the country, which many Afghans appreciate, even as they express dissatisfaction with the Taliban's governance. Stewart shifts his focus to the incompetence of Western leaders, particularly regarding the failures in Iraq and Afghanistan. He emphasizes that trillions of dollars were spent with little to show for it, contributing to a growing disillusionment with liberal democracies. This disillusionment has fueled the rise of populism, as citizens feel humiliated by their government's failures. Reflecting on the last decade, Stewart highlights how political elites have repeatedly failed to deliver on their promises, leading to widespread frustration among the populace. The conversation then turns to the current state of the UK, where Stewart expresses concern over the atmosphere following recent riots and social unrest. He points to a tragic stabbing incident that ignited violence against a local mosque, revealing deep-seated issues of racism and societal anger. Stewart criticizes the government's response, particularly the Prime Minister's lack of effective communication and presence during the crisis, which he believes exacerbated the situation. Stewart discusses the perception that politicians in the UK are disconnected from the realities faced by communities outside London. While London is a wealthy city, many areas in the north and other regions struggle with poverty and unemployment. This disparity has fueled resentment and feelings of neglect among those living in less affluent areas, contributing to the political landscape that led to Brexit and the rise of populism. Addressing the UK's biggest problems, Stewart identifies immigration as a significant issue. He acknowledges that while it is a legitimate concern, it is often mischaracterized. Many immigrants crossing the English Channel are not fleeing persecution, but are seeking better opportunities. Stewart advocates for a balanced approach to immigration, suggesting that the UK should accept a reasonable number of refugees while also addressing labor shortages created by leaving the EU. Stewart highlights the challenges posed by an aging population and the need for a sustainable workforce. He points out that the UK has brought in a large number of legal immigrants to fill labor gaps, particularly in sectors like healthcare and agriculture, which are struggling to find workers. Addressing these demographic challenges is crucial to ensuring the economy can function effectively. The discussion then turns to free speech and the implications of recent legislation aimed at regulating online content. Stewart expresses concern over the potential for overreach in policing speech, particularly in the context of social media. While acknowledging the need to address hate speech and incitement to violence, he warns against stifling legitimate discourse and the complexities of regulating online platforms. He notes that existing laws against incitement pose challenges in distinguishing between harmful content and free expression. Stewart addresses the issue of extreme poverty on a global scale, emphasizing that while there has been a narrative of declining poverty, the reality is starkly different, particularly in Sub-Saharan Africa. He cites alarming statistics showing that the number of people living in extreme poverty has tripled since 1980. Advocating for direct cash transfers as an effective means of alleviating poverty, Stewart shares his experiences with a charity that provides cash to impoverished communities. He argues that this approach empowers individuals to make their own choices and invest in their needs, rather than relying on top-down solutions that often fail to address local complexities. Stewart highlights the potential pitfalls of organized charity efforts, particularly regarding direct cash transfers. While he emphasizes that cash transfers are generally effective for alleviating poverty, he acknowledges that there are individual cases where the money may not be used wisely. Some recipients might waste the funds, but he stresses that, on a group level, cash transfers have proven to be the most efficient method for raising people out of poverty. He also points out the risk of corruption in the distribution process, necessitating robust mechanisms to ensure fairness and proper allocation of funds. Technology, such as mobile phone transfers, can help mitigate these risks by providing better monitoring and accountability. However, he notes that there must be a balance between minimizing overhead costs and ensuring adequate oversight to prevent misuse of funds. Stewart delves into the reasons why Sub-Saharan Africa has not seen the same level of poverty reduction as other regions, such as Asia. He attributes this stagnation to a combination of factors, including governance issues, corruption, colonial legacies, and poor economic management. While countries like China, India, and Bangladesh have successfully lifted millions out of poverty, Sub-Saharan Africa has seen a rise in the absolute number of people living in extreme poverty, despite a slight decrease in the percentage of the population affected. Stewart emphasizes that cash transfers can play a crucial role in helping the extreme poor access essential services and opportunities, such as roads, clinics, and schools, which have been built in more successful regions. He argues that cash can stimulate local economies and empower individuals to improve their circumstances. The conversation shifts to the impact of effective altruism on charitable initiatives, particularly in light of recent controversies surrounding figures like Sam Bankman-Fried. Stewart acknowledges that effective altruism has been instrumental in promoting a more analytical approach to philanthropy, encouraging donors to assess the effectiveness of their contributions. He notes that organizations like Give Directly emerged from this movement, focusing on delivering cash directly to those in need. However, the fallout from the Bankman-Fried scandal raises concerns about the celebrity culture surrounding effective altruism, where individuals with wealth and influence may not always act responsibly. Stewart warns against equating financial success with intelligence or moral authority, suggesting that this mindset can lead to reckless behavior and undermine the principles of effective altruism. He calls for a more grounded approach to philanthropy that prioritizes genuine impact over celebrity status. Stewart shares insights into his current projects and upcoming endeavors. He mentions his attendance at the Democratic National Convention and reflects on his recent travels, including a trip to Afghanistan. He expresses a commitment to international reporting, particularly in light of significant global events, such as elections and political upheaval. Stewart highlights the importance of staying informed about the rapidly changing political landscape, noting that nearly half of the world's population will participate in elections this year. He aims to provide comprehensive coverage of these developments from various regions around the world, keeping audiences engaged and informed about critical issues affecting global stability and governance.